Well, hello. If you're anything like me, you've been watching the Olympics, and I have to say, absolutely loving it. And yep, it's disappointing. And I joined in my comments on the controversy, but I'm not one for boycotting it. I don't actually see a great deal of benefit. But here's the thing. I was watching this morning, really thoroughly enjoying watching the triathlon, and I just listened to the commentary and heard them talking about Alexander the Third Bridge, where the triathlon jumped off from. They dived in there and started that first leg. And I was just struck by the comment the commentator made about those four kind of pillars and statues, and how they represent art, commerce, and industry and science, and just reminded me that so much of our world, there's kind of nothing new under the sun. Solomon said it in Ecclesiastes. I do remember the first time that I ever heard the teaching on the seven mountains, and it struck me then, and it connected with something that I was certainly very aware of in my own life, and that really has become a huge theme of mine. I have to say, though, I'm really a spheres guy, a spheres of influence rather than a mountains guy. I much prefer it. I tend to listen to the mountains, and it feels it's just a few things about it. I actually don't really like the connection to kind of dominating. The language feels a little bit like that, and I also tend to think that it cuts some people out. That's why I really think spheres of influence is really vital. And knowing our sphere of influence, it's not just about the influence that we have, but actually it's about recognizing the value that each one of us has when we find our sphere of influence and we step into it. And those four there in Paris, arts and science and industry and commerce, I love those. Of course, the seven spheres that I would often talk about would be family and religion and economics and education and government and arts and science. And of course, for me, I've had a couple of careers other than working in the church. One of those was nursing, and the other working in prison. And to be honest, I have to dig around a little bit to find those in there, because nursing is science and prisons is government. I get it. I just think that there might be some more. But here's the really most important thing for me. It's just that awareness and my desire to help people to discover that every one of us is a full-time minister of the gospel of the kingdom. And so finding our sphere of influence, being aware of our sphere of influence is really vital, not just for recognizing the influence that we're going to have on the world that we inhabit, but also it's just our own personal value and self-worth. And that's why I love to encourage everyone with that. So they're on that Alexander Bridge at the beginning of the triathlon there this morning, those four statements. And, from 1875 or thereabouts, that bridge was built. And I know the origin of the seven mountains, and I love it. I think it's absolutely stunning and influential and helpful. But as I say, I would rather be teaching people and encouraging people to see their life, recognize their sphere of influence. I'll often say, you could affect the whole of Hollywood standing at the school gate, and developing a relationship with an A-lister when they drop off their kids. There are so many ways in to finding our influence and our place. And as I say, I tend to move away from the mountains. I'm not critical of people who teach that. I'm not condemning of it. But for me and the message that I carry, I really love the teaching. I love the concept. And I love every one of us to realize that we're all the sent ones. This is why I believe the church should be an apostolic family. And we're sent twice, sent from heaven to earth, and then sent again through the church to influence and increase the influence of King Jesus, whoever we are, whatever we do, and wherever we go. So I want to encourage every one of you, just take a moment, think of your sphere of influence. What is it? And realize that you have a valuable contribution to make to your sphere of influence and to this world that you are a part of. So whether you're a spheres or a mountains guy, well, you can work that one out, or girl, of course. But whatever it is, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you go, know this: you're a first-class minister of the gospel of the kingdom.